and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a brand new video. For those who don't know me, my name is Amelia and I upload all kind of book content such as reading vlogs, reading wrap-ups, you name it, with a tiny bit of lifestyle sprinkled in here and there. And if you're not new here, then welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're excited. It is that time of month where we do our wrap-up and TBR. So, today's video is our February wrap-up and our March TBR. I'm going to preface this that I am filming this on the 22nd of February. So, there is still a whole 6-7 days of the month that I could potentially finish more than one book. Because I am doing a challenge this week where I read 200 pages a day. So, I could finish more than one book. So, when I do my March wrap-up, there will be books from the end of February. I haven't got time between now and it's Saturday to film, which is why we're doing it now. Sorry, I need some water. My throat is dry. Okay, so we prefaced that. We're going to start with the February wrap-up and then we'll move on to the TBR because I need to go get stuff for that. So, before we get into the books we read, we'll do a little bit of stats like I did last time. I don't know how often I'll keep this in, but I'm trying to incorporate it into my videos, my wrap-ups. Go away. So, first of all, the main stat is obviously my goal for 2025 is to read 60 books for the whole year. We're currently 15% through that goal, which is actually for the first 2 months is pretty good. I feel like I read 10% of that in February, and we'll get to that when I talk about the books because I did do a challenge last weekend that got me through a few books. So now look at the specific February stats. We read 6 books in February, which I think compared to 3 books the month before, we've doubled it up. And by the end of February, I'd have read more than 6 books. I can guarantee you that because I'm actually like nearly halfway through a book right now. We've read 2,489 pages, which is pretty good considering. One of the books this month, which you'll see when we get to the wrap up. My average time to finish a book this month, I didn't want to do that, was 17 days, which is kind of long, but for a specific reason you'll know why when we get to the book I wanted to talk about because this book did take me nearly 2 weeks to read, which was a long time. And then obviously all my books were fiction, with majority of the genres being romance, a couple, 3 of them being fantasy, and I read half physically, half digitally, so half on Kindle, which actually does make sense. And my average rating for the month was 4.42. We had a mixture of ratings in there, which you will see when it comes to me doing my talk about the books. So, without further ado, let's just talk about the books that I read in February, because we read 6 books, and I'm currently halfway through another one, which I'm going to give you what I predict my rating will be, because I think I know what the rating is going to be for that book already. So yeah, just bear with me. Okay, so for the first book I read and finished in February, which comes to no surprise to anyone because I was reading it at the end of the last wrap-up, it was Onyx Storm. I actually think I finished this at the beginning of February. I want to say the 1st of February I actually finished this because I didn't really start in January. But I've read Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the 3rd book in the Emporiums series, which has Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and now Onyx Storm. I have no words for this book. I actually loved it. I know not everyone did, but I think I'm one of the people who was obsessed. I loved everything. Like, there were some slow moments in there and there was points I was like, okay. And I do agree with some people when they said world building at the beginning, not world building, but the beginning bit when it was giving all the facts and everything was really given to you so fast that it just was a lot to take in at first. But once you get past that and you get to the nitty gritty, which I think is about chapter 10 to 11, it just goes on a good way. It gets better. It gets better, so stick with it. I definitely think this is better than Iron Flame, but not as good as Fourth Wing. So I'm looking up that at my books, don't ask me why. I one problem I think was I did go into this without rereading Iron Flame. So I reread Fourth Wing in the summer last year, did not reread Iron Flame. I was meant to, but I didn't. And I won't lie to you, I didn't exactly remember what happened in Iron Flame. There was a lot that I think I forgot. So I think when it came to reading this, I was like, huh? But as I got into it, things started coming back to me. And I did watch like a little recap on YouTube to remind myself before I read this book, because I need to have a little bit of a recap. But all in all, I really enjoyed this book. I won't talk too much about it because it is a spoiler, otherwise it will spoil it for anyone who hasn't read it. But I did give it 5 stars, which I won't lie, I did not expect to. It isn't. I say Iron Flame is not Iron Flame. Fourth Wing is a 6-star read of mine, and then Iron Flame was 4.75 for me because I really did enjoy it. I just think it does some really slow parts. I think if I was to reread it, I'll probably put it to 4.5, but who knows? And then this is a 5-star read. I just really enjoyed it. That ending, I don't think I can wait for however long we're gonna have to wait for the next book, because I want to know. So Rebecca, if you finish this before you plan to release it, please just send me the arc to me like now. I'm joking. I know it won't happen, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I tabbed so much of it. I even have a whole reading vlog for this book specifically up on my channel, so you know, go check that out if you want to. I really enjoyed it, and I will probably do a reread of this at some point. Maybe not this year, maybe next year, of the whole series in one video, so keep an eye out for that, because I might do it this summer, I might do it next year, but I just feel like I'm gonna want to like be reminded of this world, because I really love the whole world of the Emporium series. So yeah. Okay, so now we've stopped talking about my love. That's literally my love, and I literally have had to like stop myself from thinking about it all freaking month, because it literally took over my life. So when I finished that, I was like, I need something easy breezy, light, fun, and I knew what I wanted to go for. I wanted a cute, fun cowboy romance short book. So we picked up Lost and Lassued. This book was so much better than I expected. I knew I was going to love it because I was so excited for Teddy and Gus's story since, like, what was it? When I read the first book, Done and Dusted. But I was thinking, okay, like, when I usually get myself so hyped up for like a consider book in a specific series, like, I got so hyped up for, who was the last book of Chester Springs about? I can't, Bailey and someone. This is how much I did not, like, love that book, which is annoying. I just can't remember what it's called, who its name was, but the Hopeless book. I was so hyped up for that book that I remember when I read it, I was like, oh, I don't really like this. I didn't love it. It was my least favourite of the whole series, which really shocked me. So I thought that this was going to be that same kind of thing. I was going to be so hyped up for it, so when I read it, I was not going to like it. But oh my god, just lived up to the expectations. I loved everything about them. I fell in love with Teddy and Gus. I loved everything. I also loved reading about, God, what's Gus's daughter's name? Riley? Is it Riley? Hang on. Yeah, Riley. Gus's daughter Riley. So basically, Ada, that's the one before. Teddy comes, but let's go back. Gus has a daughter with, oh, what is her name? With his friend. I know it's the person who's in the next book, but can I remember her name? Cam. Gus has a daughter with Cam called Riley, and Cam has gone away to do the bar for law school. So I think it was to Washington. So she has to go for the summer. So Gus is left with Riley full time rather than co-parenting. So he then has to deal with the ranch and everything else he deals with, as well as being a full-time dad on his own. So he's putting himself through too much, to the point where his sister Emmy finds out that her best friend Teddy needs a job for some, or at least something to tide her over until she figures out what she wants to do, now that the job she has has gone. So then she offers Teddy up to be like a nanny to Riley, and the good thing is Riley and Teddy get on really well, and over that time you get Teddy and Riley just getting closer, the bond getting closer with them, and I think you know what happens. It's a romance book, but I loved it. I think I gave it 5 stars. I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure I gave it 5 stars. I did. I gave this 5 stars, which I did not expect. For a cute little cowboy romance, I did not expect 5-star feelings. But oh my god, I did. Like, it didn't give me the same vibe. It kind of gave me similar vibes to Heartless, but not the same. But in the same breath, I loved it as much as I loved Heartless. And that's why I gave it 5 stars, because it gave me the same kind of feels. I was so, like, hooked. I just couldn't put it down. So, cute little cowboy romance. If you haven't read it, go get it. I cannot wait for Wild and Wrangled. Something about Lila Sage could really write cowboy romances. Almost as good as Elsie Silver, because I do love the Chestnut Spring series. And that holds a special place in my heart. So, yeah. Then I picked up a book on my Kindle for a video that you would have seen by now. It was Wednesday's video, so you will know about this. Because I was talking about it in my 24 hours of reading. That it's coming up in maybe next video or the week, kind of video after that. It's coming up soon. I read Kindle Reads for a week, for 2 weeks. And I picked this book up because Library of Lucy on YouTube read it for her previous recent 24 hours of reading, and I was like, now I really want to read it. Did I expect to get hooked on it? No. But basically, I read Zodiac Academy: The Awakening, which is the first book in the Zodiac Academy series. Nearly said trilogy. It's not a trilogy. It's a lot more books than that. I fell in love with the book so quickly. It was so fast paced. Like, when I say I went into the book and literally within the 3 chapters in, there was so much happening, and it was like, it was constant. It wasn't like a sluggish like world building. Like, I love fantasy and I do love the world building because it helps, but like, I like the fast paced world building where you're doing world building but there's also a lot happening at the same time. So, because I otherwise can easily get bored, which sounds so silly because I do love fantasy reads and I do like the slow world building, like learning the world, but I also do like it when it was a series like the Zodiac Academy, which I know is like a long series. I was really worried I was going to get bored really quickly, so that's why I'm glad it kept me hooked from chapter 1. Sorry, there was something in my eye and it's actually hurting. It's probably sleep. I thoroughly enjoyed Zodiac Academy: The Awakening. It was incredible. It was gripping, and okay, I'm going to talk about this one. I have the other one coming up in this wrap up, which you all know about because I've read it, but so I won't talk too much about the second one because I don't want to spoil it. But in the Zodiac Academy, you're following these 2 twins called Darcy and Tori. They grew up in the mortal world with foster parents. They've gone from foster home to foster home, to then find out this guy called Orion comes to the mortal world and basically kind of follows Tori on her day-to-day life on one day. And then he turns up at their apartment and basically says to them, "You're not human, you are Fae." They have no clue what the guy is talking about, but he takes them to this world called for Zodiac Academy, to the Fae world, and they're taken in to find out that they are two princesses, queens. They literally are heirs of the throne because their parents were on the throne beforehand. However, because their parents died and what assumed a long time ago that the two daughters were dead, there were these 4 other people who became heirs to the throne. You got Darius, Seth, Max and Caleb, and for years they have been working to become the heirs of the throne. And then as they were working to become heirs of the throne, they're now in this academy called the Zodiac Academy, like working on their magic. So once they like graduate, they can go off and do that stuff and like, become the heirs. You then get Tori and Darcy thrown into the world. Their actual names, I cannot remember their Fae names. I think one of them was Gwendolina and I can't remember the other one. But they don't go by that, they go by Tori and Darcy. And you're following them, trying to fit into this world, also trying to live their life whilst also having the heirs being threatened by them, so they're trying to do everything they can to scare them away and get them to leave. And it's just a whirlwind. And the fact of book 1 was so dramatic. I was thinking, okay, wow, we're going to get more books. But oh my god, it was so good. I gave it a 4 star. I'm like 90% sure I gave it 4 star. I could check my phone. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. It was so good, so gripping. I really, really enjoyed it and I was so glad I picked it up. I was like, do I really need to get stuck in like a 12 book series? Or if you include all the novellas and the other books alongside it, 19 or something like that? No, probably not. Am I going to? Yes, because I really, really enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed the story and I didn't expect to. I was hooked from the minute I started the book, and when I finished it I was like, oh my god. Like, I didn't want to put it down. The chapters were extremely long, they were like 20 minutes, so I could only read one chapter on my lunch break each time. So I do 2 splits, and usually I read a lot more. Like, in the book I'm currently reading, I read about 4 or 5 chapters in 1.5 hour, when in that I could only read 1 per half hour because it was so long. But it was so worth it. It was so worth it. Like, once I got good, I started binging it and doing what I can, even because I just wanted to finish the book, and oh my god, I loved it. Loved it. We then move on to the next book, which is not a fantasy book, it is a romance, and I started 24 hours of reading that is coming up, which you'll see very soon. I can actually check the date for you. If not, I'll pop it up here. Let me find it. I have it on my Notion because I like to be organised, because I get stressed very easily. March, 24 hours. Okay, you're going to see it on the 12th of March. I might swap it to the 8th and put the other one from the 8th onto the 12th. Partly because I haven't even filmed that one yet. I'm filming that tomorrow. But you're going to see it in like a couple of weeks' time. So, not long to go. So you see my 24 hours of reading. My tea's probably got cold. For the 24 hours of reading, we read Wild Eyes. This was the second book I picked up. Technically, first full book I picked up for that video, because I was reading Zodiac Academy and The Awakening. And I picked this up because it was my book club's pick of the month, and I was like, okay, I need to read it, because I didn't read my book club pick of the month for January, and I was really sad. And if you want to join my book club, the link is in the description below. And so I was really sad I didn't get to that one, but that's because of Onyx Storm. Blame that. So I picked this book up as my first proper read of the video, and I actually really enjoyed it a lot more than I enjoyed Wild Love. I really enjoyed this story, and it was just so fun and so moving, and also so in some ways sad. I remember feeling really like tense during it, and not in a bad way, like, oh, I was just like hooked on it. I did really enjoy it on my Kindle because it's on Kindle Unlimited, and I won't lie to you, I didn't want to hold the book. Sorry, I'm trying to, I think it's the one. Okay, yeah. So, I don't want to talk too much about it because it is in that video to come, and I don't want to give you too much of my thoughts, but I really enjoyed it. This follows Skylar, who is a famous singer, and she's coming up to Rose Hill to escape the world she's in, and she comes to Rose Hill to do her own thing and not something under other people. And so she goes to, oh my god, the guy from the first book, what's his name? What is his name? The problem is, oh, I know it's going to be near the end. Oh my god, I actually want to know. Ford, that's his name. That was like about a minute or 2 minutes of me trying to find a name. But Ford, the guy from the first book, she's coming to him to work on an album. And she comes out of nowhere and springs it on him, kind of thing, when she's there. And then she meets a guy called West on the sidewalk when she's trying to get a picture with a grizzly bear. And he's like, you shouldn't be doing this, honey. And it was following their story. And I absolutely loved it. And West is technically a single dad of 2. But he gets on really well with the mum of his children, his ex-spouse. And honestly, the kids in this, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I just loved the story. You've got the kids, it's Emmy and Oliver, and I just love both of them. Is it Emmy? Yes, it is. And I just love the whole story. And you also see Ford's daughter, I think her name's Cleo, but I can't remember. In this book a little bit as well, which is quite, it was good because you get the inclusion of a book. But I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4.5 stars because I just couldn't tell you, it was so good, and definitely better than Wild Love. So I then picked up, again for the same video, Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is the second one, she's better than the movies, so sequel to that. And I won't lie to you, I wasn't sure about it because obviously I didn't think Better Than the Movies needed a sequel. I didn't need to see them at college. I didn't need to see them after. I just enjoyed the first book, and it ended in a good way. However, because I knew this was not going to be anything like Better Than the Movies I expected it, I'd also heard people say this, I didn't go in with the expectations of it being like that. I went in the expectations going, it's going to be nothing like it. And so I think for that reason, I actually really enjoyed the book. I think there's parts of it I was like, I don't care about. Like the whole filming a documentary, I was like, there's some parts of it that made sense, some parts I did not care. But I really enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the tension between Wes and Liz, because they obviously, it says on the back, Wes and Liz broke up for probably good reason if you think about it, but for her it probably wasn't, and I get it. And the whole book you're kind of working out exactly why and what happened, and it's so, I think it was just so good. I think it was sad at times. I think Wes became one of my favourite characters in the whole thing. Him trying to get her back was just so good. I can't say too much because I don't want to spoil what happens, especially at the beginning of the book, because it basically says why he then, like, what happened, and then you see them trying to, like, well, you see Wes trying to do anything to win her over, or you see Liz trying to do anything to push him away. But yeah, so I gave this a 4-star. I thought it was a really solid book, a solid sequel, and I really enjoyed it. And it is definitely YA, obviously, so it was better than the movies, so I think like, it was an easy read to read. And when you're on a 24 hours of reading, you need something easy, and this was definitely an easy read to read. And then that 24 hours continued. I still had time to go, and I did not know what to read. Like, I just genuinely didn't know what to read. I was like trying to pick up anything. I picked up, what did I pick up? I tried to pick up Pumpkin Spice Cafe again. I read like 2 chapters. I was like, I can't focus on this, and I was struggling. So what I did pick up was the second book in the Zodiac Academy series. It was called Rufus Faye, and I loved it. I absolutely loved that book as well. It was so much fun. It was literally, again, action-packed from start to finish. It didn't stop. I literally loved everything about that book. It took me about 4 days to read. I started it on Sunday and I finished it on Wednesday. That never would happen to me in a fantasy book, because it takes me a while to get through a fantasy book. So I was so shocked at how fast I got through the second Zodiac Academy book. You literally are picking up where you left off in the first book. So I can't talk about what happens because it will spoil the ending of the first book, and we don't want to do that. But I really enjoyed it. I was hooked. I love Darcy and Tori, but I also love the 4 heirs, and it's just, we got their point of views, we got Orion's point of view. There was so much that happened in this one. I'm like, I need to know what's going to happen next. I need to read the third one, but I'm trying to hold off. But with all that being said, I gave Rufus Faye 4-star as well. I think it's very easy to read, but I don't think it's like my favourite fantasy series yet. I think right now it's average. So yeah, I really enjoyed Rufus Faye. And now we're on to the book that I'm currently like 38% of the way through. And I will probably be binging this weekend, so you can guarantee I'll finish it this month, which is why I'm going to give you what I predict the rating will be. But I am currently reading Face Off by Chelsea Curto. I didn't, again, it's for the same video you've just seen, so you'll hear my actual rating at the end of that video, so I won't put it in my March wrap up to tell you, because you'll see what my rating would be when I finish it. I say that, it might not be finished in that video, but it will be finished in my video reading 200 pages that's coming up, so keep an eye out for that. However, by the time it comes to me editing that video, fully editing it, I will know the full rating, so I'll try and pop it up on the screen, so you would have seen it in the Kindle read. Anyway, I picked it up because I was like, okay, I need a romance. I need to not read another Zodiac Academy book, because otherwise it's just reading the 3 Zodiac Academy books with me rather than reading on my Kindle for a week. So I was on Ellen Catherine's reading sprints, reading Rufus Faye, and in the comments I was like, oh, I might read Face Off next. And both Ellen and a girl called Cleo, I think it's a girl called Cleo, so basically Ellen and Cleo both said in the chat, well, Ellen said it on camera, and Cleo said in the chat, yes, you need to read it. And so I decided to pick it up, and Ellen Catherine, I can't speak, a few people in Ellen Catherine's reading Discord is also like loves the book, and like when I put it in a book chat, they were all like, yeah, we've got another one, another one. I am thoroughly enjoying it so far. It's so good. So you're following Emerson and Maverick, who are both hockey players. Emerson gets picked up by the NHL to play in the big leagues hockey team with Maverick, and she's the first woman ice hockey player to join the team and to join the NHL. So it's a big deal, and she's very and then you've got Maverick, who's the captain, and they bicker a lot. He's determined to prove to her that he is like nice person, and she's very determined to keep him at arm's length. And I'm sure there's more to come to it for that reason, but I am so hooked on it. Like, I am hooked on everything to do with this book. And I'm only 38% of the way through, so I honestly have things to do today, but I really just want to sit and binge it, which is bad because I have actually got things to do. But with that all being said, I think my rating will be a 4.5 stars. I don't think it's going to be 5 stars, but I don't think it'll be 4.5 stars. I don't think it'll be anything. It's going to be nothing lower than a 4 star, but I think 4.5. But obviously, you'll see my rating at the end of the Kindle video. So yeah, that is all the books I read in February. I think it was a very good reading month for the beginning of the year, starting off strong. I've had I don't think I've had a rating below 4 stars this year yet, which maybe I'm being too generous, but it just seems like I'm picking up really good books. We will now move on to my March TBR. Hello, okay, hello, saying like I'm starting another vlog. We are now here with my March TBR. So for this video, am I okay? For the TBR, I said it in the last one for my February TBR, I'm trying to change it up with how I do my TBRs, to do something different, maybe every month, to make it a little bit more interesting, maybe to get you guys involved, but also... Oh, my books are all making noises, they're falling, oh my god. Anyway, maybe just to keep it a little bit different and a bit spicy and change it up. So, I put up polls on my Instagram stories for you to choose on my Instagram what book I read per month. However, I am not the one who came up with this idea, I want to say this, but I did it slightly different rather than just showing the books. I did it blindly, so, you know, you would choose the books blindly, so you wouldn't know. So for anyone who maybe isn't a reader, they could just randomly choose one. I don't think I made the emojis quite obvious for most of them, because I felt like I couldn't, because I didn't know what to put. So I just kind of did colours, related to colours instead. So we are sticking with a six book TBR, because can you guess what? I read one book of my February TBR in February. If you want to go back to that video and watch that TBR video and then see what I read for my wrap-up, after you saw what my wrap-up was, you'll know. I only read one of that TBR. And it's okay, I don't always stick to it, and I'm a mood reader, so I like picking a TBR because it gives me a book that I could try and read from, but... And if you haven't guessed by my book club is I do try to put books that are already on my TBR. So I tried to film this video, and then once I filmed it, I'll put the vote up for 4 books from my TBR. Or the month, potentially. Sorry, my phone... I'm going to put this over here. Actually, I need it. Anyway, this is a long ramble, but obviously I asked you to blindly pick books for me for my TBR. So we're going to start with the first one I put up, and I need to actually use this. Okay, so the first ones we put up were 2 romance books by 2 authors I love. So I literally haven't really had bad book by either of these 2 authors yet. So I was like, okay, we're going to put this up there because it's by the time I get back into one of their books again. So, the 2 books I picked was The Striker by Anna Huang. This is her newest release, I think, and it's a sports romance, football romance, precise, chunky, and... I love Anna Huang's writing. I love the Twisted series. I love the King of Sin series. I've only read 2, but I love them both. So I'm really hoping I'll love this one. However, I also put up Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I love the Dreamland Billionaire series. I recently reread the fine print and still loved that book. I also loved the first book in the series, Love Redesigned. When I say I was hooked on that book, I gave that book a 6 star. That was a 6-star rating for me in 2024. What year was last year? 2024. So I picked up between these ones, and you'll see what I put on the emojis on this, but the emojis I used were, for this one I did purple heart and football because it's a football romance and the cover is purple, and for this I did a pink heart and a airplane because they are like going on holiday or they travel as far as I'm aware. Like, there's literally a postcard on here, so I figured travel. So I put these up there, and the one that won, let's have a look on the poll just so I can get the percentages right. The one that won by 63% was Lower Unwritten. So this is the first book of our March TBR. And can I tell you, I'm a little bit scared to get to it, but I'm also very excited, but also nervous because I've heard not so many good things about this one. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I am excited to finally get to it because I've had it for a while and it's been sitting on my shelf waiting for me to read. So that's the first book of our March TBR. I'll put you over here. We then... Oh, where did it go there? I then put 2 fantasy books on there. 2 hardback fantasy books as well. Oh, and they're quite heavy because they're hardbacks. And these 2 books, one of them was one I have been needing to read for like over a year now, and the other one I haven't as much, but I wanted to read as well so bad. Especially now that Ellen Catherine has read it and I heard her review and I was like, okay, I'm interested. So the first one I picked up was Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. This is a fantasy romance, obviously. It looks like a cozy fantasy romance about a witch, and I would love to get to it. I think this is about 25 books or 2025, I can't remember. Who knows? But yeah, literally love the cover as well. Like, how gorgeous is that? So I cannot wait to eventually get to this. Potentially maybe this month, who knows? And then we have, if it wasn't obvious, I'm going to have to do this way because I took a dust jacket off. It's Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco. This book has been something I've been wanting to read for ages, and I can't believe I haven't picked it up yet. Because I really want to get Throne of Secrets, but until I read this, I'm not getting it. It's not even on my list of books that I can get this year, so I really don't think I can get it this year, but I probably will. But I am so excited to read this book. I'm nervous, but so excited, but we'll see if we get this one as well. I already know, so I feel like I'm already spoiling it by saying this stuff, but I cannot wait if we get this book. But I'll be either happy if we get either one. Anyway, let's just see. So what I did for these ones was, as you see my screenshot, is I put up on the... For the Throne of Fallen, I put a little chair and a dragon. Because I obviously didn't have a throne on an emoji, so that was the closest I could get. And then on the Rewitched, I put a little witch and a cat because there's a little cat. As you can see on this cover, you can see a little cat here. So, yeah. So let's see what won on this one. It was the last one. So by a whopping 62%, Throne of the Fallen has won. If you couldn't tell, that's why I kept saying I'm so excited to read it. I kind of spoiled it by that because of the way I said it. So maybe for the next 4, I won't do that. But I'm very, very excited to get this book finally, and hopefully, for sure, I will hopefully read it. And if I don't, you can tell me off in the comments. In my March wrap up and my April TBR, you can tell me off in the comments if I haven't read it. What did I put next? Oh, I remember what I put next. Okay. Next I picked up 2 Abby Jimenez books and put them in one because I was like, I'm not going to be bothered which one I get. I just really want an Abby Jimenez book. I miss her writing and I need it. And these 2 books are 2 to finish off the interconnected series that both of them that I have, I guess you could say. So the first one I put up was this one was Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez, obviously. And this is the last one of these Friend Zone series, I guess you could call it. So you have Friend Zone, Happy Ever After playlist, and then you've got this one. And I really want to read this one so bad because I got this one really recently, but I remember the guy in it is the guy who Sloane in Happy Ever After Place went on a date when things with Jason didn't go, I ended. And I really, really enjoyed this book. That book, not this one, I haven't read it yet. But, so I picked this one on there. And then I put up Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez as well because this literally was like going around at everyone's favourites last year. Everyone loved it and I want to get to it so bad. I wouldn't be mad with either of these two winning because they're Abby Jimenez. The reason I put them both there because I was like, I want to read both so bad. But I would love this one because it's shorter, but I would love either one because I just love Abby Jimenez's writing. So let's see who won. Yes. So with 11 votes over 8, so 58%, Life is Too Short, or Life's Too Short, has won the vote. And I put up emojis for this one. I realised I didn't show you that. I'll tell you that. You'd have seen it anyway. I put it up here. But for this one, I put a little sunshine and a little like umbrella, like sunny summer umbrella. And then for this one, I put up a dog because there's a dog on it right here. And I put a yellow heart, because I didn't know what else to put for this one. So this one won, and I'm very excited. And what was next? Okay, now we have two sports romances. Two sports romances that I really want to get to so bad. So the first one is Caught Up by Liz Tom Ford. This is the third book in the Windy City series, and I loved The Right Move, and I really, really enjoyed, what's the other one? Mile High. And I have been meaning to get to this one for so long, but I just haven't because I just haven't been able to, or I just haven't been in the mood for that. And I would love to get to this in this month. Who knows? But I really enjoyed it. This follows Kai and Miller. And Kai is a single dad, and for some reason single dad tropes are something I love. Don't ask me why. And then the other one was Consider Me by Becca Mack. I have not read, obviously this is the first of the series, and I've not read the series yet. I've got the first 3, and I haven't read any of them yet. So I'm really hoping I enjoy this one, because if I don't, then I've got 2 other books that I'm like, oh. But I would love to get to this one otherwise. I don't really mind. They're both sports romances. This one follows Carter and Olivia. And I think this is ice hockey because it says his best player on ice. So, yeah, I'm really excited. I put up, for this one, I put a heart and like the city emoji because I didn't know what else to put up for it. So I put the heart, orange heart and city emoji for that one. And then for this one, I put a hockey stick and a white heart. So, yeah. So now let's see who won. I actually don't know who won this one because I remember once one of them was in the lead and then I looked back another time it wasn't. Maybe I was wrong, but I didn't actually know this. By a whopping, if you're gonna guess, this one I didn't actually check. By a whopping 83%, Caught Up has won the poll and is my 4th book on my TBR for March. So I'm excited. I'm actually really excited. Okay, who's we? I keep doing this. I then put up 2 fantasy books again because I was like, I feel like I need a variety of range. I feel like I'm slowly getting to that point where like I need a mix of both each month, otherwise I get bored, which is very shocking because it used to be just romance, and now I'm like romance, fantasy. So I then put up The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas. This is the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series, and I need to get to it. I keep putting it off because I'm scared because I know they're like novellas, but I need to get to it as soon as possible so I can get this one done, because I would love to get into Heir of Fire, which is their 4th book, and it kind of goes back into the actual proper world. This is like prequel. The Heir of Fire goes back into the world, and I don't remember what happened at Crown of... Actually, I do remember what happened in Crown of Midnight now I say that. But, yeah, I would love to continue the series. So I put this one up, and then I also want to start this series. So put up Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This just seemed interesting. I've been wanting to read it for a while. I got this for my Secret Santa in 2023, and I have not read it yet. So I would love to read it. So I put up very basic emojis, but I put up a purple heart and a spoon. Oh my god, my legs. Purple heart and a spoon for this one because I've heard that there's something like they call it a little spoon or something like that. I don't remember. I might be wrong, but I just got a spoon because I don't even know anymore. And I put a purple heart for this one, and then for this one I put a knife and a black heart. And so I'm going to see who won. I can see it because I just looked down, but to be fair, this was quite close. I thought with 56%. The Assassin's Blade has won. So hopefully I'll get to this. I feel like it might be the next book I pick up, but hopefully I'll get to this. And then finally, I went back to like the ice hockey romances, because I do like ice hockey right now. Like ice hockey romances, and I do feel like they are kind of my strong suit of books that I like to go to for. And so I picked up first of all The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. This is the second book in the Vancouver Storm series after the Behind the Net, which I really enjoyed. So I would love to get to this book because I just really want to read it. And then we had Unsteady by Peyton Corrine, which again is another ice hockey romance, and I want to get to this one as well. I recently saw Alexa Ray read this, and when she read it and spoke about it, I was like, oh, I kind of want to read this now. Because she said it's combined in 13 vibes in some ways. I'm like, oh, okay. Intrigued. So for this one, I really need to talk fast. My battery's running out. I charged it this morning. For this one, I put a purple heart and an ice hockey stick, or a hockey stick in the puck. And then for this one, I put a blue heart and a hockey stick in the puck. So basic, I know. However, let's see which one won. Oh, again, quite close. But with 53%, The Fake Out won. So that is what I'm going to be putting. This is my TBR. So let's quickly run through my TBR for the month. We've got, like I just said, The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. Caught Up by Liz Tomford. Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco. And Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. Oh my god, it matches my outfit. Oh my god, that's so cute. I might take a photo of myself in that. Oh my god. Anyway, that is the end of this video. It's been quite a long one. I don't usually talk this long in a wrap up, I don't think. But if you did enjoy it, then please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe. In the comments, can you let me know of ideas for how to do my TBR each month, because I would love to get your input, so maybe think of different ways of doing this. So please let me know in the comments below. And without further ado, that is the end of the video. Like I said, enjoy, thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe, all that stuff, and I will see you again very soon with another video.